Hey guys, and welcome to the Mineski Pro Gaming League season number 6, the Southeast Asian qualifier. This is day number 3 of the group stage. Group stage 1 is already over, maybe some tiebreakers have to be had, but Rave, they definitely got through to the playoffs, whereas actually Arrow, they got kicked out for sure. So it's either Insidious Idol or Milk being the second playoff spot from there, but this is a whole new group. Awake versus MSI-EvoGT. It's a 2-game series, as are all the games in the group stages. My name is Coucher, and I am joined by Whiplash.
Hello. Good to be here, Couchshore. Good to be casting. Greetings to everybody out there in the Twitch chat. How you guys doing? Alright, got some more Dota on our hands here for the MPGL. Nothing really too much going on in the draft so far, but I mean, everything looking decently standard as far as bans go. I guess Tinker definitely being prioritized by MSI, as well as the Lycan, which is no surprise whatsoever from any team. And the same can be said for Awake's bans as far as the Doom and Panda are concerned, both excellent at team fighting early on into the game.
Yeah, they most certainly are, and the Tinker, to be honest, it gets panned out in the first stages, rather in the Southeast Asian team than any other. Yes, every scene currently, globally, does give respect to the Tinker, but here it just a little bit extra. And if you can, then lower your microphone volume a bit. But the first pick about to come. Reserve time already there for MSI-EvoGT. What do you think they'll go for? Well, I guess they answer it for us. The Razor is it for them.
Hey, you're unmuted. Welcome back, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. I can hear you too. I hope you weren't like talking a lot or something, because I have no idea what you said.
Oh, I was talking a moderate amount, I guess, but maybe it's just us. Actually, I can hear myself from you.
Really?
Yes, there's some echo going on.
That is quite odd. That shouldn't be happening. What about now? Is there still echo?
I don't think so. At least a little bit, just a tiny bit, so just have to fix it. But
okay.
Looking at the draft now, Ancient Apparition, the pick for Awake, and of course Faceless Void is also available for them if they want to.
Yep. Oh, they decided to go with the Centaur instead. They could still put the Faceless Void safe lane if they wanted to run that kind of combo. Centaur, though, definitely a hero that likes to get into the thick of things, and that Chrono ultimate, well, maybe get in the way a little bit of him doing something like that, but still, we'll have to wait and see as far as the other picks are concerned. But I am a big fan of Centaur on the off lane, and I kind of feel like, yeah, he's not picked as much as I kind of would expect a hero of his power to do. He's so darn tanky, and that seems to be really prevalent in the current meta, as well as the ability to really team fight often and just, dish out a lot of burst damage. So I'm a big fan of the hero, but we'll go ahead and see what MSI decides to pick up for their second hero.
Yeah, they have so many opportunities. Still, the Faceless Void is available. A little bit shocked that actually Awake didn't go for the combination with just Ice Blast and Chronosphere, but Centaur definitely is also a really strong candidate there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even the Faceless Void could work out decently with the Razor. As long as you get that chain on, you can just constantly sap away someone's damage inside of the Chrono. So, if we're really hyping up this Faceless Void pickup, then that's a potential hero. But no, MSI, they grabbed the Shadow Shaman, a hero that was also extremely prevalent in addition to Razor in TI4. Another hero that can do a lot when it comes to team fights, very powerful, and a lot of good pushing power from him as well.
Yeah, it's just definitely one of the top support picks at the moment. Shadow Shaman and Skyrift Mage, most likely the most popular ones. Ancient Apparition has been seeing the light of day a little bit more now as well. But Enigma, also the ban out from MSI-EvoGT now. Nice. They're gonna go for something extra. I mean, teamfight is always bad to go up against Awake. They have a decent amount of it already with the Ancient Apparition and Centaur, so Enigma, you don't want to deal with the black hole, especially maybe MSI. They don't even plan on going for.
Alright, sorry guys, still messing a little bit with the microphones. But hopefully everything's gotten fixed up just A-okay. Is this any better, Couchshore?
I
Never
think so.
ever type
Yeah, never ever type, man. Your mechanical keyboard is just...
I have a mechanical keyboard, not the best when I have a microphone next to the keyboard.
Yeah, well, at least I can't hear myself anymore. At least I don't think I can. It looks a lot better as far as the OBS sound levels are concerned. Unless you type, of course, yeah. Oh, did I really now? I guess so. I guess I did mute myself. Got that mumble.
How do you keep muting yourself? Do you have like a hotkey or something?
Oh, I know, yeah. Goddamn hotkeys. Not allowing me to get hotkey combinations. Mumble sucks. But anyway, probably fine now. Hopefully fine. So, we're just still in the second ban phase. Both teams actually have slowed down the draft a little bit. Skyref Mage taken out by MSI. As well as Awake. Well, I mean, banned out the Ember Spirit. What do you think is gonna come next?
I guess if... I don't think they would ban out the Faceless Void because it's both good with the Ancient Apparition and good against him. I don't know, it still feels like it's a little bit too early in the draft to decide. I do like the bans, though, from MSI. Both of these guys good early team fighters, and I think that Enigma would pair quite well with the Centaur as well. Got a lot of synergy between using that ultimate, getting everyone in one place in addition to, and not just the Centaur, but the Ancient Apparition. They both got some AoE that they can add into the team fights. So I would like that combination, but smartly MSI, they've gone ahead and done away with that. Still waiting on the fourth ban out from Awake, though. I don't really have any thing in particular in mind of what they'll ban out, but they do go with the Templar Assassin and then an immediate Earthshaker pick right afterward.
Wow, that actually the Templar Assassin ban, I have no idea if it's a specialty of MSI or what, but it does strike me a little bit as weird. But then again, just you don't want to double edge into the refraction, for example. Just take the damage only yourself and not output any of it. So, I mean, and Templar Assassin is a really strong hero, and I think he's a little bit underutilized as it is anyway. But Awake, they just have so much teamfight for themselves, so much setup for the Ice Blast. Earthshaker goes for it to the Fissure, Centaur has the easy blink in, Hoof Stomp to follow, Ice Blast there as well. Should be able to just blow up any hero on the map, unless of course they have BKBs. Yeah,
that's true. I think MSI, they'll probably shy away from heroes that can create a lot of minions, just because of the Echo Slam from Earthshaker can be quite deadly in those situations. And yeah, because of the burst that's simply at Awake's fingertips, maybe they'll try to get another tankier hero or two out on the board to help them out. But they decide to go more into the initiation route. They pick up the Bat Rider, a hero that definitely has kind of fallen off a little bit. He's pretty much been nerfed in almost every single patch for the last year plus. So, bringing him kind of out of that god tier status and more in line with some of these other heroes. So it's not just Bat Rider ban every single game. That means we get to see him a little less often, but when we see him, it's a little more refreshing,
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I have always liked the hero, and I really don't think that the nerfs made him that much weaker or anything. But we do see him now. But Awake, as their core, the carry role, they pick up the Weaver for themselves. Is he really elusive hero? Does like to build the Lincoln Sphere rather often as well. So against Bat Rider, it's going to be rather crucial that Weaver has that item.
Yeah, once he picks up that Lincoln Sphere, it'll just be very annoying for that Bat Rider to deal with in general. And MSI, they say, okay, you know what? We're just going to continue on this trend of team fighting. We'll pick up the Sand King. I guess another hero that's similar to the Shadow Shaman. He's got like very small range on his abilities, but very powerful if you're actually able to close that distance. And getting a Blink Dagger on a lot of MSI's lineup is going to be absolutely crucial if they want to be successful in getting the jump on Awake. Because looking at this Weaver, you have to really jump on him faster. He's just going to Sakuchi away. These other guys as well, they have Centaur Warrunner with the Stampede to help out. So Awake is pretty darn elusive, and I do like that MSI is going for these heroes that will eventually have that Blink Dagger mobility to kind of deal with that.
Yeah, just Blink Dagger is such an important item pickup for any of those kinds of heroes that need the initiation aspect of it. And actually MSI, they have 3 heroes to build Blink Daggers. For Awake, it's 2 for them. So both teams are just full of initiation, and so far both lineups are rather aggressive as well. So in theory at least we're gonna see a lot of action just from the get-go.
Yeah, definitely we'll still be seeing a lot of action now. The Puck as well as the Viper have been banned out from both MSI and Awake respectively. I suppose the Puck would give Awake pretty much, it would reduce MSI's ability to get out of any team fight or really escape from that Centaur's Stampede abilities. So, you know, a little bit more synergy there. Also giving them a silence as well to kind of help them out. Could be good against a lot of these heroes that are very dependent on their spells. And Viper from the other side, I guess adding another kind of tanky hero to MSI's lineup overall.
I mean, tank is one thing that, to me, feels it's always good to have at least one of the tanky frontliners just completely soak up most of the damage, as well as just be able to spread out the enemy. If the tanky hero, for example, just jumps 3 other heroes, yes, in theory, your mind says like, do not focus the tanky hero, kill the squishy ones first, but if you can't really go past him without actually having to fight him, it does get just so much harder. Awake now. Last pick about to come. They do actually need themselves a mid laner unless they want to run like a Weaver mid. So
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of the Weaver mid lane. I guess it certainly can work, but just someone you don't normally see in that position. You know, he's the one that generally just wants to get his farm on as much as possible. So generally, he will end up in that safe lane. But I guess as far as other heroes are concerned, they could actually pick up the Invoker and go for an Exort Invoker because he can synergize pretty well using that Sunstrike with the Centaur Warrunner, get that Stomp Double Edge, just insane amount of burst. But they're going to go for burst in a little bit of a different direction, grabbing the Queen of Pain as the final pickup. And, you know, pretty much they're going to be a heavy spellcaster from Awake's end. Overall, they have a lot of magical DPS in the early stages, and later on, you know, it looks like Weaver will be able to really kind of help carry the team. So they look pretty strong from the get-go. I do like Awake's lineup overall.
yeah, it's definitely really aggressive. The one thing that I usually want to see in aggressive lineups as well is just having some form of push. Weaver with the 2-minute attack is decent-ish, I guess. Other than that, they have some nice creep clear with the Queen of Pain, Scream of Pain, of course. But other than that, just the pushing power might fail them a little bit, as well as the potential to go for Roche unless somebody gets a Medallion of Courage. But MSI, well, they're gonna have a lot of push, lots of teamfight, initiation is there for them as well for sure. And both teams actually have really solid lineups, just heavy nuke damage for both sides, physical damage a little bit better even probably for MSI. But once those ultimates are on cooldown for the Death Prophet, for the Batrider, that's when Awake can just strike so damn often, because Centaur, he can blink in and get the hoof stomp every 24 seconds if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, overall, both lineups do look pretty darn balanced, like you mentioned, so I think it's going to come down a little bit more to the execution over anything else. Both lineups do have the ability to snowball pretty darn hard. I mean, you have a Queen of Pain on one end, on the other end, you know, you got a Razor as well as a Death Prophet and supports that if they get their levels in the early stages, they'll be absolute beasts and essential in these team fights. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see how these lanes decide to go, but it should be pretty standard overall just from the look of things. I don't anticipate anything too weird from either ends.
Yeah, I mean, Awake, if they really wanted to again go for an aggressive tri-lane with Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition and Weaver, although...
And Coucher, you've gone ahead and muted yourself again.
I mean, can it be? Can it really be? I guess it really can be, man. I have even no idea how I pressed that button this time around. They even changed the hotkey.
Why don't you just, like, unhotkey it, man?
Never mind. Okay, I guess I can do that. I'm just so used to muting myself on Skype, but as long as I mute myself on OBS, it doesn't really matter if you hear my spam. Haha, hell yeah.
That's fine. I can always mute you as well, man. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that. Mute. Self unassigned. Apply. Okay.
No big deal. They're paused in game anyway. It's not like we're missing anything.
Indeed we are not, man. And
Yeah.
well, I guess we can just introduce the lineups as laning. Like you said, probably not gonna have anything spectacular coming out anyway.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and introduce MSI Trick on the Radiant's end, over on the Bat Rider, who will probably be in that offlane. It's going to be BYB, close to BYOB, I suppose. Bring your own beer. And then on the support Sand King, we will have Emar, and then another guy over at the Razor. That will be Shenri. The second support will be YND, excuse me. These names are kind of hard when they're jumbled in all of the different sponsors and tags and whatnot. But finally, on the Death Prophet, we will have MSI-EvoGT.
And for a wake up on the dire side, BSR playing up on the Queen of Pain, leaving King A to play the Ancient Apparition, YO2 playing the Earthshaker mid lane, or actually don't even know exactly where, but Toy is heading towards the bottom lane as well on the Weaver, and solo safe lane for the time being is going to be their stand-in, Boombell from Myth Trust originally. And man, I'm pretty sure there was a King R yesterday in some team. I think Milk had King R, or no? Insidious side? I'm not even too sure, man. But there was a King R for sure, so now we have King A as well. Some Southeast Asians team.
Okay, well, both teams have kind of gone to the enemy jungles, looking around, probably just doing a little bit of anti-warding. And we already do have that. The Radiant's Easy Camp has been blocked by that Sentry Ward, just kind of, chilling in the trees. Beyond that, it does not look like there will be any early clashes from the look of things, and I do anticipate that some of these heroes are already kind of returning or going to the lanes that they plan on going to.
Yeah, and somebody's complimenting their profile picture, I guess. I have no idea, or maybe just internet pictures. I mean, actually a lot of Southeast Asian teams, they just know each other so well, screaming against each other and just being friends. You can always see some friendly banter going on, more here than anywhere else, I think.
Yeah, I definitely like the friendly banter. I'm a huge fan of that. When the players are familiar with each other, comfortable, like talking, it's, I don't know, it just adds a little bit more friendliness, I suppose, to the overall games.
It's always nice, but now one observer ward goes down, just a standard one, getting some rune vision. The sentry was used to just pull off or block off the pull camp, which actually does leave them in an aggressive tri-lane with the Weaver, Ancient Apparition and the Earthshaker. And at the moment, they might be up against a solo laner, the Batrider heading safe lane, so I'm not too sure if either of the teams expected an aggressive tri-lane by the enemy and went for the dodge by placing their own aggressive tri-lane. But they will be dodged one way or another.
Well, I mean, the Ancient Apparition can always add a lot of power to an offensive tri-lane. I do like what Awake are running as far as that's concerned. Unfortunately for them, it's just going to be a standard tri-lane at the end of the day. No offensive tri-lane versus offensive tri-lane. But there is a lot of kill potential at the top lane, as both of the supports kind of just, chilling in the jungle over to the left side near one of the secret shops. And if this Centaur overextends just ever so slightly, he's straight up going to die to this Razor.
Yeah, Batrider is probably going to have a slightly better time in the bottom lane. Yes, the Weaver with the Geminate attack and the Chilling Touch can actually dish out a lot of burst damage as well. But the Fisher, usually an excellent way to just block people in. But Batrider, of course, once he gets at level 2, gets that Firefly, he can just fly over the Fisher and escape. Or at least possibly escape.
Yeah, and also check out all of the warding that's been done by Awake. They have blocked off a lot of these creep camps for this Bat Rider, so it's not like he can just go into the jungle and start stacking up creeps left and right. And I guess he also can't pull the side camp as well, because he's not just in the normal solo, I guess, off lane for the Radiant team. So he's going to be, scrapping for experience at this point. Not too much should be happening from him beside that. But looks like we did have Earthshaker rotate towards the top. The supports are now revealed from MSI. And, just doing their job at kind of trying to prevent the Centaur from getting too much experience. But at least he has picked up level 2 at this point.
Yeah, and Awake, even though they're going to leave the Weaver solo now, Weaver should definitely be able to handle BYB and the Batrider, I think. He's already one level ahead as well, has the magic stick. So with the Sukuchi, I mean, if he dies here, I'll be just genuinely surprised. Unless of course there are hero rotations helping out the Batrider, but 1v1, Weaver definitely with that small advantage he got from the support babysitting him in the first minutes, he should be just fine.
Yeah, and he's already picked up a magic wand as well. Very smart for him to do that. Both supports have now rotated from Awake to the top lane. We also have a smoked up Sand, actually no, invisible Sand King, kind of roaming around a little bit. He's still only level 1 though, so it's not like the supports from, I guess, Awake really, or MSI really have too much experience to their name. The Ancient Apparitions are the only support to hit level 2 at this point, but looks like we're going to have a go up on top lane. As we see Centaur, a lot of damage is being stolen from him, but, well, the Earthshaker, he's preventing that from ever becoming a kill.
It was a really nice Fisher block. Shadow Shaman couldn't get in range for the shackles. Of course, just about to hit level 2, so no Ether Shock quite yet. Looking at the mid lane matchup, Joe is doing pretty damn well on the Death Prophet. 13 and 6 compared to, well, now 10 and 4. Queen of Pain was a little bit farther behind, but now catching up as well. And of course, I mean, if anybody's gonna kill anybody, I do believe Death Prophet should maybe even get the jump on Queen of Pain if he invests into that value point of silence early. If not though, Queen of Pain should always just be able to blink away, and Death Prophet, I don't think he should be dying here as well, really.
Yeah, I don't really see it happening on the Death Prophet. It would require just, you know, a definite misstep. This top lane seems to be where a lot of the action is going to be at this point. I mean, it is the, you know, tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario where it's pretty darn likely for a kill to happen. So that's kind of the lane I'm going to be keeping an eye on, but the bottom lane as well, we could see a little bit of action happen there as well, but it's probably just going to be a lot of trading and nothing too much beyond that.
Yeah, man, Shotan, he found such a nice regeneration rune. He actually guessed the side as well, going for the top rune. Of course, Pathrider, he was ready to take the bottom rune if necessary, but just locking out the regeneration rune, and now can just spam almost limitless.
Oh! Top lane, they weren't able to trap Razor. He kind of came on the bottom side of the fissure. Otherwise, I think he would have actually died to that combination. So it was a close but no cigar attempt at a kill from Awake.
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of surprising to me that 4.5 minutes in with these lineups, we haven't seen a kill, but we might see it now. Fisher this time, Razor gets caught, double edge there as well, hooves them, not enough mana for it to burst, there comes out from the Sand King, but Razor, he still goes down. The block was there, and now, oh, Emar, he gets stunned up as well.
That's a double, man, 2-0. It was all on the Earthshaker. As soon as he got that good fissure off, I mean, people don't realize a lot of the time, but fissure lasts 8 seconds. That's a ridiculous amount of time if you get a good block off. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it looks like this Weaver getting pretty darn aggressive. He almost has killed off this Batrider, but he will kill off the Swarm just in time. This guy, down like to about 50 health, he needs the kind of heal up at this point because he is not a happy camper.
Who certainly is not, and I'm pretty sure that Weaver saw the Shadow Shaman as well, and that was the reasoning why he didn't dive the tower. Otherwise, just shackle under the tower, Weaver would have just gone down in return pretty easy. So maybe he's kind of lucky seeing the Shadow Shaman, or maybe if he didn't, maybe just playing it super safe. But now Tranquil Boots, actually Pathrider up to half HP once again, since nothing's really disabling those boots.
Yeah, he's A-okay. Yeah, I guess after he got half health, he's like, okay, that's enough health regenerated. I'm fine to continue harassing at this point. So I suppose the Shadow Shaman, I don't really see them being able to burst down this Weaver before he goes ahead and uses like Time Lapse or something. So not a lot of kill potential there. That being said, this Weaver is going the Sakuchi forward, grab that illusion rune real quickly, and holy crap! He took down that Sand King under half health with like one auto attack, thanks to the Germinate and the illusions as well. So.
Yeah, that was pretty sick, man. I didn't expect that amount to come out with just one right click, but I guess that's, like you said, just the power of the Germinate attack right there. And Weaver, he has picked up a Ring of Health as well, so he's most likely gonna head towards that Lincoln Square. But there's his Smoke Fisher onto the Pathrider.
Can he actually get away in time? It does not look like it. The Weaver will finish him off. Once again, this Earthshaker, you know, he's setting up the kills, making plays left and right, and a really good combination with this Ancient Apparition. We're seeing it work, as long as you have a little bit of DPS behind him. I mean, what can you really do against that if you're, you know, caught out of position? Just, you're gonna end up dying.
Yeah, it's really well played from Awake. I mean, 4.5 to 5 minutes in, we had no kills at all suddenly. 3 in Awake's favor, although mid lane still, Death Prophet actually keeps on pulling ahead. 40 to 12 compared to 26 and 6.
And this Death Prophet could actually be in a lot of trouble if he's not careful. If there's a good fissure here, then this could be yet another kill. Queen of Pain can just kind of blink forward. She does have a point into Sonic Wave, and we'll go ahead and see the ultimate, but can they actually get him in time? Yes, they will. They use the Sonic Wave, get the kill on mid lane. Looks like that ultimate from the Centaur was kind of the cue to go on mid lane, so that's yet another kill for Awake, up to 4-0 now. Top lane, though, they're going to have a go onto the Centaur. War Runner, they get the stop. A little bit of body blocking. Centaur decides to say, you know what, let me get out of this lane. I'm going through the river. And he's just tanky enough to kind of, walk away from that and will not die.
Yeah, I mean, he did get 126 points of damage stolen, so at least Razor will have a lot easier of a time just last hitting there. Double damage room gonna be bottled up by Queen of Pain as well, and actually Queen of Pain is level 8 now compared to Death Prophet 7, so that kill was actually pretty damn huge considering that Queen of Pain was behind in last hits, but now Death Prophet being dead, actually Queen of Pain just catching up, almost halving the disadvantage that he had as far as last hits went. So,
yeah,
looking good.
Yeah, definitely looking good. We'll see, though. There are two supports kind of from MSI near that middle lane. We see the Sand King. He's just farming up some jungle creeps. He's pretty darn poor. Needs to get that Blink Dagger, but still quite a ways away with only 500 gold to his name. Shadow Shaman as well doesn't really have any items beyond, some naked boots. So both of these heroes that really need their Blink Daggers are nowhere near them and don't have their ultimates as well. So it's going to be at least a little bit longer, I feel, before MSI really tries to do some team fighting. I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of played a little bit more passively till then, but once again we have another smoke gank from Awake supports. They're heading towards that bottom lane and just out of range of that Shadow Shaman, so they won't be able to spot him, but Bat Rider is going to get caught out of position. Can he Firefly away? He's so low, and it's just too much burst, man. He can't handle it.
Yeah, the Chilling Touch just helps out so much with all the right clicks coming, just the extra magical damage. So Kuchi, of course, level 4 as well, so that was 150 damage, not too shabby, and this is Toy going for a Hand of Midas on the Weaver. I mean, a bit greedy, or what do you think?
I mean, they're 5-0. Looking at his last hits as well, he's up to 48, a little bit before the 10-minute mark. I'm actually okay with it. I think they can totally get away with this, especially with Queen of Pain. When they got that kill earlier. Oh, hold on, though. We're going to have Centaur uses his ultimate. We'll get stunned for the meantime. In comes Queen of Pain to the top lane. And there's the ultimate from her, getting a kill on the Sand King. Now up to 6-0. MSI they just keep losing these fights, getting picked off one by one. And it's things aren't changing. I guess one small victory for them is they are looking to get the middle tower thanks to this Death Prophet, so a little bit of extra golds to them. Earthshaker will not be able to come in time to deny that. So one small minor victory for MSI, but if you look at the graphs, I mean, already 3,000 experience difference and 1,500 gold experience in the advantage of Awake.
Yeah, it's looking good. Actually, the gold now, with the tower, of course, does drop down to 500 or so. But bottom lane, oh, beautiful Fisher block once again. An easy kill setup for them, with some right clicks from Toy, and they were so confident that Toy is gonna get the kill that they already started backing off.
I fear we really underestimated Awake's draft in the early stages. They're just showing how powerful they are and how powerless MSI really are at dealing with what's coming their way. As far as big item pickups, we do have a few. Blink Dagger has been grabbed by that Centaur, who's actually had a pretty good amount of last hits, despite being in off lane, but I suppose he did have some support rotate and help him out. And looking over to that Razor, he's picked up a mechanism as well, 11.5 minutes into the match. So at least, we do have a few important items coming online for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Bat Rider getting the Blink is actually, I guess, just as important as the Centaur, maybe even a little bit more so, because Centaur can even help without that. Just the Stampede will always be useful in a fight.
No, we're going to have the TP to bottom lane. This could be the Blink from Bat Rider, trying to secure an easy kill with the lasso, but Weaver smartly has been just, kind of backing it up.
They're even rotating in more heroes, so I guess they want to get the tower on top of that after they get the kill.
Oh, Bat Rider. Can they actually get him? Weaver? He's just getting out of there. Very smart. But he could still get picked off if he's not careful. So with almost everybody from MSI in this bottom lane, yeah, they're just going straight up after the tower. They want to force a reaction. and they'll be ready for it. They have that blink available with the Batrider. Fireflight's on cooldown, but okay, we'll have a TPN. Ultimate from the Centaur. Ice Blast coming out. Will not connect with anyone, but that's a very nice fissure. The mech will heal up Death Prophet. There's Adgo Slam. Doesn't actually really do a lot of damage. And this could be a big turnaround. Queen of Pain comes in, gets at least one kill. And it could be a second one. Death Prophet, though, still barely alive. She'll teleport home. It's a 3-for-1 trade. The tower as well going down to half health. This was actually an extremely well-played move from MSI. They're right back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Echo Slam didn't do all that much damage. Of course, there were no creeps around as well. And it did land on 2 heroes, but level 1 Echo Slam, a little bit similar to a level 1 Epicenter as well, just isn't all that strong, to be honest. And Queen of Pain made the burst. She did so much of it. But I do believe Awake, they just needed that Ice Blast to properly connect on at least 1 to 2 heroes for them to just completely win that fight. Because if the Ice Blast had connected on Death Prophet, the mech wouldn't have given him that burst heal. But Yules onto King A, no TP out.
Oh, this is totally a dead Ancient Apparition. There will be no escape for that frozen creature. So now, that's actually a lot of kills onto this Death Prophet. She is 4-1. Who cares about that early gank on her? She is doing amazing at this point. And yeah, that Yules as well, very clutch to get another kill. We have 25 seconds left on the cooldown for Exorcism, but it's looking like this top tower will be the next target for MSI, as they've already taken the middle and bottom towers. So this game is, well, the pendulum is starting to slowly shift.
Yeah, I think the mech probably was the biggest part of it, but oh, Ice Blast the Wolfstone!
It's good, that's enough burst. I think they'll be able to get this Razor, and yeah, down he goes. Queen of Pain getting the last hit. Shadow Shaman a bit low on health as well, but okay, there we go. Queen of Pain getting blasted away. Can she blink away in time? No, it's not enough. She will fall. Earthshaker will get the Fissure kill onto the Shadow Shaman, so it's a 3-for-2 though, still favoring MSI in these team fights. The pickoffs earlier on were going amazing for Awake, but in these big fights, it's certainly going MSI's way. We'll even see if this Batrider can slowly pick up this Ancient Apparition. 3 stacks of the Sticky Napalm, but it's not enough, and Batrider decides to just back away.
Oh man, that was so funny, the Batrider. Actually, I think he would have been able to chase the Ancient Apparition down. It's actually the small camp, but oh, Epicenter me there with the Burrowsack Toy, completely decimated with the Plasma Field helping out. Oh man. But what I wanted to get at is, this small camp here, the tier 1, it started chasing the Batrider, and the Ghost has the Frost attack. And it actually slows the movement speed by 20%, and it just kept on hitting the Batrider, and Batrider couldn't chase the Ancient Apparition because of it.
Yeah. Dude, Coucher, we gotta take a look at these graphs, man, because it's been a pretty darn upswing into MSI's favor. They were down 3,000 experience, and now they're up 2,000 over the course of, basically 4 minutes. It's been a huge upswing. Gold as well, it was kind of close to even, never over, 1,500, and now up to 4K into MSI's favor. They've also gotten all of the tier 1 towers, which has definitely helped out in that endeavor. So, I mean, as long as MSI keeps team fighting and getting, a few pickoffs here and there, man, I don't really know what Awake can do. They seem to be falling apart when it comes to these engagements.
Yeah, I mean, at some point it was 7-0 in the favor of Awake. So they've gotten 2 kills, whereas MSI have been able to claim 8. And of course, I do believe those 2 kills have been onto supports as well as Sanking Tide ones, maybe the Shadow Shaman as well. Haste Rune picked up by Queen of Pain, always good. But Death Prophet, he has his Exorcism ready, they've grouped up as 5 people. Batrider, Firefly up, a 4-staff finished. Oh man, they should be able to get some easy kills here.
Oh yeah, definitely with that 4-step. Okay, Batrider blinks forward. Oh, maybe he's deciding just to go after the Courier. 1 or 2 more should do it. He 4-steps forward. Can he get the Courier? It's just a little bit too fast. He has to get away. He could end up paying with his life. Centaur blinks forward. We're going to see Queen of Pain move in there, and even use the Sonic Wave as well as the Scream of Flame just to make sure they get that killed. Fortification on a 4 health tower. The Serpent Wards, they'll get the job done. No deny from Awake. So this Batrider, he does give up his life, but at least, I suppose at the end of the day, space created as they all focused on him while they let their poor tier 2 tower in the bottom lane die.
Yeah, well, gold-wise, it's definitely still in the favor of MSI, although it was so greedy. He almost got it, but the speed boost from the Courier just came out in time. Although, I do believe if he had just gone in to focus on the Earthshaker, get that kill, they would have gotten the tower anyway, and maybe even get some chip damage done on the tier 3, or just make Awake dive into a team fight trying to save the Earthshaker or something crazy like that. But in the end, I mean, they didn't lose too much. Economically, they still came out ahead.
Yeah, as long as they're still taking these objectives and coming out on top, I guess can't really follow them aside too much. But except for, okay, never mind. Sand King is teleporting to the top lane. We'll have the ultimate come in from Centaur. They're going to just try to burst down this Death Prophet. She'll get 4 stabbed to it, but still a little bit too much damage as she falls. Echo Slam coming in as well. They get the Shadow Shaman. It's a 2-for-1 trade. The Weaver's already down. It looks like they get the other Shaker. They get him, but it will be a trade for the Razor. So it's just back and forth kills, but finally Awake. It looks like you're able to win a pretty convincing team fight. They completely wipe MSI, and they keep 3 heroes alive.
Yeah, just getting a jump on the Death Prophet like that. And actually the Death Prophet, he got 4-stepped out, but he started running back in and didn't use his Yules either. Maybe could have just survived for a couple of seconds longer, maybe get another Crypt Swarm off a Silence. Could have helped out. And of course Sand King coming in with the Epicenter. Him not having the Arcane Boots meant that once he came in with the Epicenter, he couldn't actually get really close to the hero since he lacked the mana for the Burrow Strike. So no additional stun, no additional burst damage coming from there. And all Awake. Just such a back and forth as is to be expected from the Southeast Asian scene. We have casted so far 12 games, as in 3 best of 2s, or 2-game series, however you want to call them, in this group stage here. All of them have seen so much back and forth, some throws of course going on as well, some great individual plays from, well, both teams in all the games, so we're just continuing on the trend.
Well, I have a question, Coucher. Is it more 3-2-2, or is it more just excellent plays coming out from both teams, and really you're not sure what's going to happen?
Well, at the moment I do believe it's some small misplays, but it's definitely not enough to call it a proper 3-2-2, to be honest. It's like the Sand King going in with the Epicenter. Yes, you want to channel it, but suddenly you're like, oh crap, I don't have enough mana for a Burrow Strike. It's just rather unfortunate more than like a huge misplay or something, because you just haven't been able to farm up those Arcane Boots. You can't help it too much.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, at least the Sand King does have the Blink Dagger available to him. So I guess I would have to choose the Blink Dagger over the Mana Boots at the end of the day. But yeah, Awake, they have done a pretty good job of kind of coming back into this, but I wouldn't be surprised if MSI strikes back. They've already got a double smoke on the Bat Rider as well as the Sand King. So that is a 2-man death ganking squad that could really do some damage.
Oh man, I'm looking at the graphs again. I mean, it used to be 3k in the favor of Awake. Now it went back to almost 4k.
Yeah, I see it, man. I see it, Coucher. Jesus. That is... It's hills and valleys. That's what we're seeing in these graphs.
At least gold-wise, MSI keeps the advantage since they of course have the much stronger pushing lineup and have been able to claim objectives. They are at the moment 3 towers ahead, and if they just continue at the same route they're going for, just gonna pressure the tier 2, they should even get an easy kill on this. But 19 minutes in now, Toy gets himself the Lincoln Sphere, although actually he's still lacking just even normal boosts of speed.
Ouch, yeah, that's definitely interesting. Okay, we'll have Centaur blink in, gets the double edge. They really are focusing on getting that Death Prophet. She'll use her Yules, buying herself a little bit of time, gets Silence off as well. Don't know if it's really going to affect too much, though, as the Death Prophet, she will be the first to fall. Weaver down to half health, same with the Centaur as well as the Quap. And oh, now it looks like they found the Shadow Shaman once again. The other support as well from MSI. The Sand King, he falls as well. That's 4 down. There's 1 left. Can they find the Bat Rider? He's all the way in no man's land. He blinked away and he teleports home, but wow, this is turning into a little bit of a disaster for MSI. They were looking good for, I guess, a few minutes, and then Awake they got their act together and won 2 very convincing team fights twice in a row.
Yeah, so far it's really been the matter of who just gets the initiation. Awake, both times on the top lane now, 2 team fights in a row. They just gotten the jump, and they've been focusing the Death Prophet as well. They know the Exorcism, the Crypt Swarm spam constantly. It's just such a huge burst of damage, and whoa, BSR! He has himself a sheepstick 20 minutes in on the Queen of Pain.
Wow. Well, I suppose that is his first core item, so looking at his score, 9 kills, 2 deaths, 4 assists, I think you're qualified to get a Scythe of Ice at 20 minutes into the match. So that's going to be a very nice item in these engagements. It could make the difference as well. if someone gets caught out of position, or maybe MSI gets the jump on winning a fight or losing one. We'll see. MSI, once again, they still want to do a lot of team fights. They've grouped up, heading towards top lane. They really want to push into this tier 2 tower. We have a 3-man smoke from them as well on 3 of their Blink Dagger carriers. So we'll see if they can get someone. Ooh, Weaver. They're going to pop the Lincolns. They also get the Bro Strike on him, put the ward down. They'll also just completely lash him into place. Is it enough, though? They don't have the burst. Weaver, he's silenced, but still very low on health. Can they finish him off? Solo, yes. With the help of the Death Prophet, they do get the kill, but still, it's a 2-for-1 trade. The Bat Raiders down as well as the Shadow Shaman. These supports in the offlaner for MSI, just they don't have a lot of help. And we see them dying quite fast, but still, MSI, they will go for this push. Centaur moves in, he tries to get a stomp up, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. And there's the Epicenter doing a good amount of damage. The Earthshaker now down, but, well, it's a 3-for-2 trade. And it doesn't look like they're actually going to get this tower couch, or MSI, they're forced to retreat.
Yeah, in the initiation I was so sure that the Weaver is just gonna get poofed. But no, the damage was lacking, and that just goes to show that without the Exorcism, they're not that scary yet at all, or the Epicenter at the same time. They actually lassoed as well as shackled the Weaver at the exact same time by the Shadow Shaman and the Bat Rider. So completely overlapping it. They weren't even using the lasso to actually pull him out of position either, because they wanted to just do as much damage at the same time as possible. So maybe I would have loved to see them just pop a couple more ultimates to begin with, maybe even Mass Serpent Wars there. Of course you, in theory, want to save them to go for the push after the team fight. But this just ended up hurting them so much, because we were... Him being tanky, the mech, or actually do they even have a mech? Yeah, the center has a mech. So the mech coming out there just keeps him alive for that extra bit longer, saves time for the teammates to come in, and well, MSI, they didn't lose that fight badly or anything, but them getting the initiation definitely just should have gone in their favor heavily.
Yeah, that's true. I think, though, when you were talking a little bit about the wards from Shadow Shaman, MSI have pretty much lost the last 3 significant team fights. I think they have to burn the wards just to try to guarantee getting maybe even just a few kills at the minimum. You know, when these big team fight engagements happen, I'm feeling like they need to be used at this point. They can't, you know, save them and use them luxuriously for these towers.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Exorcism as well. I mean, they definitely can't just easily pop one of their ultimates to team fight and the other for the push. And of course, I still prefer if you win the team fight, because if you don't win the team fight, you can't push anyway. So you might as well just go completely all into the fight. And the good thing about the Death Prophet is, if you can win the fight fast enough, the Exorcism will still be available for you to reach the tower.
Centaur going to use his ultimate, but there is a very fast blink away from the Bat Rider. Queen of Pain looks for somebody, doesn't really find anything. So at least the Centaur's ultimate will be on cooldown for another minute. I'm not sure if MSI can really use this. They do have all of their ultimates available. If they choose to do a team fight, they're all grouped together in the middle, actually, so... Oh, can they actually go on the Weaver? They're waiting for the Sakuchi to end, and they have to break the Lincolns. Oh, they wanted to get that Lincoln's broken with the Sand King Burrow Strike, but it won't happen. Uh-oh! Sand King, he's locked in position. Out comes the Ancient Apparition ultimate. Oh no! Bat Rider, he lassos away an illusion. This is pretty much guaranteed that MSI just have to give up on this team fight and at least wait for the last to come off the cooldown.
That was extremely unfortunate, and of course putting Queen of Pain really well baited as well, just farming out the bot lane at the same time, and now she has a BKB finished as well, so this Queen of Pain can just pretty safely jump into the fight and expect to still survive, unless she's just alone next to the Death Prophet, so the Exorcism still can kill him with physical damage. But MSI, they're not done yet. They're like, yeah, we screwed up with the lasso, but we still have so much initiation with just normal disables as well, and maybe even go for the tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, this Queen of Pain also has a double damage rune in her bottle, so... I mean, this Queen, she's fine. They will go ahead and put down the Serpent Wards by the tier 2 as well as release the Exorcism, already taking down that tower with a half health. And Ancient Apparition will come out, connects just barely onto the Death Prophet. The question is, will MSI actually commit to this? They're actually just letting the wards die. They don't want to commit. They're afraid, man. They're afraid. And they don't want their other lanes to get pushed out too much as well from the look of things.
Yeah, just look at the gold craft now. It is almost 2,500 in the favor of Awake, although they are still 2 towers behind. as well as XP 10,000. So they're having a really firm grasp on this game at the moment. And BKB is being worked on the Weaver as well, although, I mean, having to go for 2 defensive items, really not a good position to be in. But so far, they haven't been losing team fights without Weaver having a huge amount of right-click damage like a Desolator or something. So just play it safe, go for the Sukuchi, a couple additional right-clicks every now and then, and just have faith in your teammates as well to just provide and help you out.
Yeah, I mean, I think by the time that Queen of Pain starts falling off a little bit, that's when Weaver will really come online. I'm okay with him going for more defensive items. It's not like MSI has, you know, insanely tanky heroes. I suppose both the Razor and Death Prophet are decently tanky. Well, hold on, we're going to have a lasso onto the Queen of Pain. She is silenced. Out comes the Epicenter as well. And is it enough? Queen of Pain, no, activates the BKB. She'll get away. Unfortunately, the Earthshaker won't be so lucky, but they are going to still try the chase. The Quap. Can she get away in time? That is the question. They're looking for her, and it looks like that's not going to happen. Oh, can they actually get the Cyclone off in time? No. No Yules onto the Centaur, and he will survive. So despite MSI having almost a picture-perfect initiation, Awake is still able to get away with very minimal losses.
Yeah, that was actually extremely close, and Kiilstofte, I do believe him coming in with the huge Echo Slam with the blink that he just got saved the Queen of Pain. Fought that little bit of time for the Queen of Pain to blink out. Of course, Quap had to use the BKB as well, but definitely just worth saving it. Or saving her rather with the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker. But now bottom lane, oh, Shenroi might be in some trouble. The blink, Hoofdom comes in double edges there as well. Can King A do enough? The Ice Blast is gonna fly, the mech, it's not coming out. Will they get the Shatter Toy? He's there as well, but the silence from Cho. Yeah, he's not gonna shatter here, so he's actually beginning to get pretty tanky.
Yeah, that's true with the BKB picked up by Razor. Just another tanky item for Razor, in addition to the mechanism, and of course the drums do provide +9 to all attributes, so, you know, that helps out a little bit as well. It's basically like picking up an Ogre Axe, and I am hoping to see that Aghanim Scepter as the next big pickup. If he wants to go full on tank mode, I suppose we will see something like a Heart of Tarask out of him, but most Razors nowadays, they have been going for that Aghanim Scepter, and then later on into the game, they'll even get a Refresher Orb just for that double Eye of the Storm, which does stack, by the way, and can just absolutely, you know, demolish bases and destroy anybody when it comes to the team fights. But he's kind of a far ways away from that item composition.
Yeah, it's gonna take him a long time, but mid lane we might see an initiation toy. He's the source of it.
They put down the Sentry Ward, and nothing else so far. The smoke, it's still got a little bit of time left on it. Some of the members, well, they pretty much know now that MSI is there, so the smoke won't help out too much in this situation. And Weaver, look at the baiting he's doing. He is not afraid, going right up to the front lines and I guess just Sukuchiing away. I suppose, though, with the Lincolns and Black King Bar and a level 3 time lapse. Well, I mean, come on, man. You're going to be able to pretty much escape from any situation.
Indeed they are, and Awake, they are backing off themselves. Do they have a smoke? Yes, they do, but they heard the BKB. Oh, Shenroi already activated it.
Oh, Batrider on the high ground. He's able to go in there and easily grab someone. It doesn't look like he wants the Centaur. And the tower actually getting denied by the Queen of Pain. MSI, once again, they're really scared to engage. They'll back off. We have a few pings onto the Roshan pit from Awake. And this is looking to me, Couchor, like Awake are just going to get a free Roshan.
Yeah, and I think MSI, they just genuinely actually wanted to go in and fight as well while the Exorcism was up. Not have the tower get denied, but Razor, he activated his BKB before they actually went in properly. And he was like, oh crap, now my BKB is on cooldown for nothing. That's a 10-second BKB as well, just wasted. And man, this Roche, giving it away for MSI, it's gonna hurt just so much.
Yeah, I mean, MSI was already hurting when it came to the team fights. Look at that, they can give it to the Weaver. I almost wonder if they should have given it to this Queen of Pain instead, but I do suppose the Weaver has technically died a little bit more, but really, is he going to die in another team fight with that time lapse, with the Lincoln Sphere, and with the Black King Bar? I'm not so sure about that.
It might be just for split pushing purposes as well, so he can actually survive a 5-man gank solo while split pushing possibly.
That's true. He does buy a Town Portal Scroll. We'll come to the high ground. The final tier 2 tower on Awake's end, it does die. We'll see the Stampede come out from the Centaur. Can they catch someone? That's the real question. They get the Sheep onto one of the members. Looks like Sand King, the first member to fall. They put down the Serpent Wards, though, as well to help out. BKBs activated all across the map from both teams. And Razor, he's unable to man mode this Weaver. He will fall. That's now 3 down on MSI. They're looking for a 4th. It's Death Prophet. She tries the TP out. It's not fast enough. They only get the Earthshaker. It's a 4-for-1 trade. Awake, it looks like they've just taken complete control of this game, and it doesn't look like MSI are really in a position to win any team fights in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's just going so horrible for them. They only got that one Earthshaker, and actually, they popped the lasso on that Earthshaker to get the kill after he had used the Echo Slam already, and Fisher was also on cooldown. So I'm not too sure if BYB actually misclicked, because Earthshaker was on top of another hero who I can't remember who it was now. Maybe might have been the Centaur, but in any case, they get the kill only on one support. Patorello makes it out, and now they're camping for the Weaver, who still has the Aegis. Was dropping low while man fighting the Razor thanks to the Eye of the Storm. But well, he only needed that time lapse. No Aegis even necessary.
Yeah, I'm starting to... Oh, hold on a second. Too fast, man. Too fast. I say hold on. Shadow Shaman's already dead. They just blink in on him. It's way too much damage. We'll now see Awake. They move into the middle tier 2 tower. MSI, it looks like it's their turn to start losing some towers. And I still see Awake. They're playing quite cautiously. They're playing, still, they want to be safe. And speaking of safe, Death Prophet's picked up a Black King bar. That's not an item you really see on this hero too often. And also, I'd like to mention that this Weaver's finally gotten a little bit of DPS online. He just bought a Desolator. We'll now see BKB activated from the Batrider. He's dragging away this Queen of Pain. They do manage to kill her off before she can do anything. Apparition's ultimate comes out, doing a good amount of damage, but the BKBs are already activated. We do have the Death Prophet. She's picked up. Centaur low on health. Can he actually get away? Down to about 100 health. He is going to limp away barely with his life intact. Still, though, it's unfavorable trades for MSI. They lose the tier 2 tower at the mid lane. What are they going to do?
Yeah, in theory, that initiation looked so damn good. Just dragging out the Queen of Pain, getting the kill immediately. Exorcism just providing enough physical damage to get the kill there. But they grouped up for that kill and just suddenly blinked again from the Centaur. He did get a 2-man hoof stomp rather than a 3, because I think Razor had a BKB activated. Might have been the Death Prophet. One of those two for sure. Ice Blast to follow on the 2 heroes as well who didn't have BKB there. And just suddenly a horrible fight for MSI after all. And they might even lose more. They see Emor. He actually gets the Burrow Strike onto Wake. The static link is there from Shenrui as well, but Toy, he's just being such a nuisance, and he still has the Desolator only in the stash.
BKB down, just coming off of cooldown for this Razor. I mean,
you might
he's
see
still
a Shatter
not...
on the Sand King.
Oh, you're right. There's the Shatter. They get it. He was low. He tried to, well, there's not much he could have really done at that point. And he even had some tanky items on him, like a Helm of Iron Will. It's simply not enough. Alright, well, we're going to have a big Drex. This could be the last big engagement of the match. They do manage to bring down the Apparition. We'll see MSI. They're chasing, and Awake, they're running away. They've used that Stampede. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be the last big engagement. Just 2 deaths, one on both ends. And, I mean, I guess the Sand King death from earlier on was from that Shatter. So Awake, I guess they got a little bit cocky. I don't think they had the Queen of Pain, though, with that fight. In fact, she is kind of pushing down the mid lane. Bought up a Demon Edge, so looks like she's going to transition into some very heavy DPS items at this point.
Yeah, and just looking at the graphs again, XP almost 20,000 by now already. Goldcraft nearing 7,500. It's just Awake's game to throw at the moment. Of course, MSI, if they just get one fight where they maybe don't have to pop mass weapon wars or something, they can of course just counter push extremely fast themselves as well. Razor has a gem now that they got the kill on H, the prison from before, so actually that kill was an additional 900 gold pretty much. Now they can see the Weaver all the time as well. Might be making a difference in the next fight, but Weaver finally has his Desolator on him, and this tier 2 is not long for this world.
Yeah, and that triple Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Oh, hold on, yeah, they're going in, but what was that Burrow Strike? It didn't really hit anyone. Still, they get a sheep onto the Weaver, silenced up. Looks like the Aegis, excuse me, will be popped. Meanwhile, the Earthshaker has also gone down. They're going to get a nice lasso onto the Queen of Pain, dragging her all back into, you know, the thick of things, but with the BKB, she's able to blink away. And MSI, man, they're holding on, Kiilstofte. It's hard to believe, but by the skin of their teeth, they're managing to at least somewhat start the trade in these team fights.
Yeah, this could have been just MSI's fight completely, though. But that Burrow Strike, I literally, when I saw the Burrow Strike, I facepalmed myself. I kid you not, just my left hand was like, oi, oi, oi. He Burrow Strike to where there were no people. There were people to his left, there were people to his right. And he Burrow Strike straight up.
I saw that and I almost said, like, my brain, like, stalled for a second. I'm like, what? Where did he go with that Burrow Strike? Why would he do that? Regardless, I guess the Sand King did pay with his life. Okay. Oh, 4-step to 4-step. Ancient Apparition just barely keeps himself alive. This Bat Rider had the lasso off cooldown, was ready to rumble. And we'll see if they can find someone else, but, well, this elusive Weaver and Queen of Pain don't look like the prime targets to grab. And I don't think they'll get him. They are starting to shift their focus onto the Centaur. He's blinking forward and does have a TP scroll available on him, but can he actually escape in time? He's moving into the trees. Can he be found in time? Oh,
that one
no.
creep followed him. No blink out anymore. Silence is there. Emar comes his Burrow Strike. But he's tanky, but...
I mean, it's... everybody is just trying to take this guy. He's taking forever to kill. The Ancient Apparition Ice Blast will come out and actually do a good amount of damage. Shatter Shaman may be in a little bit of trouble, but I don't think he'll shatter to this.
You could see that the Centaur wants to go in for the double H. Double H defense would have been enough to actually shatter the Shadow Shaman. But he has his blink at least, so he's just fine. Level 2 ultimate as well. And Toy, he's gonna go for even more tank now. He's building for a Heart of Tarrasque for himself. Of course, with the Desolator itself already might have enough damage, unless he just completely gets static linked in the fight, all of his damage stolen. And MSI, in graphs, they're not telling a different story after the bottom fight or anything. Still, huge lead for Awake, 10k gold, still around 20k XP as well. But MSI, if they can just pull off another fight like they did bottom lane, have the Death Prophet's Exorcism actually do its full damage, the full duration of it as well, they can still win a fight.
I think theoretically, if everything goes well for MSI, they still have the chance to make something work. The Razor was starting to work on his Aghanim Scepter. He's picked up the Ogre Club, so just you know, a little bit of additional tanking on his end. And as far as other things are concerned, Shadow Shaman, I think he's had his blink for a little bit now, but it definitely was delayed a lot on this hero. The Centaur will pick up his Shiva's Guard, so if this hero couldn't get any more tankier, well, he just did regardless. And now that's a Mechanism, a Pipe, and Shiva's onto this hero. He is going to be one tough cookie to actually take down.
Indeed. What can actually hurt him now? Especially if he would be able to acquire enough farm to get the Heart of Tarrasque on top of this. He would just...
Oh man. That sounds so scary, dude. I don't want to think about it. I'll think about the heart on Weaver, but not on the Centaur.
Yeah. And Toy actually, if he really wants to, he can buy up the heart now. Has enough gold for it, but maybe, just maybe, he still wants to save for buyback. Roshan is up as well, but the MSI, they've smoked up. If they get this fight now and Roshan on top of this, it's just gonna be game breaking possibly.
It's definitely true. We'll see the smoke revealed onto the Bat Rider. They know the enemy is nearby. And the question is, can they actually get the proper jump? Can they find the right person? Oh, Weaver, this is going to be really bad for him. They're going to be able to break some things. They drag him back. The BKB is enabled though, but already everybody from Awake starting to jump right into the thick of things. Centaur, he's tanky, but it doesn't look like he's tanky enough. He will fall still. 2 already dead on MSI. They've lost the Razor. Once again lost the Shadow Shaman. He didn't even get his wards off, and well, Queen of Pain, she is just absolutely cleaning up MSI members left and right. And it's a full team wipe. They only lost the Centaur. Awake, it looks like the Centaur, he did his job. He tanked up while everybody else could just throw out all of the DPS. MSI, their chances were starting to look a little bit better, but after that fight, I don't know, man. I think that maybe that's got to be curtains for MSI.
The biggest thing was that they got disabled before they got their BKBs activated. I mean, Razor, he dropped down to like, what, 400, 500 HP before getting his BKB activated. And from then, he actually right-clicked the center a little bit as well and just took some damage from Return. Return is physical, BKB doesn't really help you against that. So Razor, he even helped a little bit within his own demise. And A lot of buybacks coming out. Awake might get Roach from this. And like you said, this might be it for MSI.
I also want to mention that Queen of Pain has about 600 gold in the bank. I'm not sure what she's saving up for, but it may be a good time for her to spend the gold.
What do you think is, well, Monkey King Bar?
I would assume that's a pretty common item on the Queen of Pain.
I hope
noticed.
I hope not Radiance. Not Radiance, I mean, I hope it's not gonna be the Rapier.
Well, let's... The Queen of Pain does have the Aegis. I would not be opposed to a Rapier on the Queen of Pain at this point. She even has the gem picked up from the Razor.
Well, if ever, then when having an Aegis, I guess that is true enough. Actually, that would be some pretty sick damage as well, because Queen of Pain's attack kind of animation is pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she's no Gyrocopter as far as Aegis / Rapier heroes are concerned, but, I mean, I can't complain about it. I would say they're in a position where it may be a little bit 3-2-2 if she went ahead and did that, but no, just picks up the Daedalus. I still want to see at least one more big damage item on the Queen of Pain. She has 4,000 gold, for Christ's sake. She might as well use it.
Yeah, why the hell not? Although, she needs to get the, or give the gem to somebody else. I guess, of course, Boomball might be a nice candidate for it as well, the Centaur. I mean, he literally only dies when he tanks out everything in the face.
Well, MSI, I feel like their best chances, they really have to just defend on the tier 3 high ground. The high ground, getting off the perfect initiation, being able to break that Lincoln Sphere on the Weaver, and then silencing him before he can really time lapse. Maybe that could be a way for them to win the team fight. They can't. The Centaur is so annoying, but really, I don't think it's good enough for them to focus him down. He has 34 armor, 2,240 health. This guy is just an absolute beast. Ridiculously hard to kill off. Maybe if they can somehow go with this Queen of Pain, or at least you know, break down that Aegis and save their tier 3. But I don't know, man. It's quite the tall order for MSI at this point.
Yeah, and actually the Death Prophet, although he didn't have to use the buyback last time around since his respawn time was short enough thanks to the Bloodstone, he still just goes all out, buys up a Sheepstick now, has no buyback. So MSI, they know that they're completely cornered up as it is, so just go big or go home. That's their decision at the moment. Death Prophet has only 45 gold left. I don't think it's gonna get enough for a buyback before actually the next fight happens, so do or die for them.
I suppose it's do or die. You do see some teams, they prefer the save for the buyback. Other teams, they think, you know what, we just need to get our big items out. It's the only way we may have a chance in this fight, and if we can't win that way, then there's no point. So Death Prophet, like you said, Couch Short, it's a go big or go home for them. We do have a bit of a disconnection onto the Earthshaker. He should be back shortly. It's C Dota after all, where connection issues run rampant. It's just kind of the way things work. But no worries, everyone will be back shortly. It's 20-37 at the 43-minute mark. Awake have a pretty significant advantage, even looking into the experience and gold graph experience, up to 25,000 gold, up to 14,000. It's really not looking too good for MSI at all. It's nothing short of a miracle, I feel, will kind of save them and bring them back into this game.
Yeah, and to be honest, there have been pretty much only two, not throws, but turnarounds, I guess is the more correct term for it in this game, where, to begin with, it was 7-0 in Awake's favor, suddenly it was 8-10, MSI pulling it back, but from there on just getting one teamfight advantage for Awake, getting that one jump, winning a teamfight, completely team-wiping MSI, and from there on they really hadn't made any mistakes at all. Yes, maybe some minor misplays, but all in all, just building and building and building on their advantage.
They really are. Oh, I mean, looking at the positioning from both teams currently, we do have MSI. They're all kind of just, you know, headed towards the top. We do have a smoke on, I think, almost all of their members. Yeah, everybody is smoked up on MSI's end. Looking to the other side, Wake, no smoke, but everyone's still relatively on the opposite side of the map when compared to MSI. So I guess these guys will avoid a clash for the time being. And, I mean, MSI, you know what? Maybe they could force some type of really weird base trade scenario, but I don't know if Awake would even, like, be concerned about that. Maybe they'll just just kind of like all teleport back and then, you know, force MSI away or something. But it may have to come down to the Death Prophet as well as the Shadow Shaman, you know, really trying to rat away as hard as possible and just avoiding these team fights if possible in order to secure MSI a victory.
Well, a base race is something that actually might be the last resort for MSI, because I just don't really see them winning a team fight unless they completely catch Awake out of position. So, to be able to do so, Awake, let's say, for example, even if Weaver does get caught out of position, will he even die from it?
Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I was thinking. If MSI catches Awake out of position, well, not the end of the world, you know? It's like, okay, this Weaver takes some damage, he'll just time-lapse away, Earthshaker comes in and does his Echo Slam, everything's all good.
Yeah, I guess so, as, well, Earthshaker is still disconnected. No updates on when he's gonna be back, or actually they said reconnecting, maybe.
Okay, there he is. We're all good. I was just about to move into more random filler talk, I suppose. So Earthshaker has reconnected. He's good to go, and it looks like we will be resuming this game any second now.
Yeah, it's just usually when you reconnect, you still want to make sure that all the settings, everything, the ping is okay still. So they are ready, and what do you think their next step is now? Just go bombard the tier 3s?
I suppose so. This Ancient Apparition is not too far away from getting his Agnum Scepter, which will... I think MSI have pretty good high ground defense, but Awake, if they get a good like 3-man ultimate off from the Apparition with that Ice Blast, then they can just waltz into MSI's base and not really worry about a single thing. They may also want to wait for, I guess, well, nah, they have the Aegis right now, so I guess waiting for Roshan's kind of a moot point. And they are heading down there, so I suppose it is time couch, or they're going to go straight for the tier 3.
Why not as well, Toy? He can just siege away at it all day long with his tankiness. Even if he takes some damage, just back off, Heart of the Rest, heals you up, and well, Shenro, he's tried to go for Static Link, but Weaver, Sukuchi, hasted movement speed, gets rid of it so damn easy. And well, I do believe it's just a matter of time. It might take a really long time for them to get the tower, but MSI, I think their best chance is just to fight before the tower actually drops.
Yeah, that's true. If they let it drop, then that's just a little bit too much. I feel that they're losing. Look at the Shadow Shaman. He knows that he wants the rat. Like, he's waiting for this tower to get pushed up. He's afraid of the Queen of Pain illusion in the top lane. Maybe if he realizes it's kind of a fake, he can go in there, try to do some damage with some wards, but I don't know, man. It still feels like this is basically Awake's game to lose at this point. MSI are almost completely out of options, but Awake's still playing pretty darn cautiously at this point. I have to commend them for that, but they'll go ahead. They're using the pipe. It looks like we may see them go up to the high ground. Swarm is used. Doesn't really connect on anybody, and okay, there's the fortification from the MSI team. And wow, they just completely demolished that Bat Rider. We'll see them, they're trying to take down the center. He's just a little bit too darn tanky. And look at that, we were just going to town onto the Death Prophet. She backs away, still barely alive for a little bit longer, dragging away the Queen of Pain. That will go ahead and expend that Aegis. So overall, not the worst scenario for MSI, but they lost the tier 3 tower. In comes the Echo Slam as well, not really accomplishing too much. There's the Fissure as well, follow-up. They're getting a lot of these members on MSI very low on health. People are forced back inside the well, and that leaves the tier 3 available to get hacked away. They get the melee barracks. Will they get the ranged or just back away? It looks like they're getting the ranged, and then they'll back out with just losing an Aegis, essentially.
Yeah, well, there was a trade of a tier 3 top lane, but I mean, tier 3 for Rex, definitely not worth it. Now King A has himself an Aghanim Scepter as well, finally on the Ancient Apparition. But for that fight, the Batrider, he jumped into the middle of 3 to 4 heroes completely. He just, for a millisecond almost, just froze, trying to think out who he wants to lasso. But in that time, Queen of Pain got the Hex on him. Easy kill on the Batrider. And actually, Queen of Pain himself, with the Aegis, he blinked in so aggressively. But since, of course, all the focus from MSI went to the Queen of Pain, even if he had gone down the second time as well, the Rex probably still would have died. And Toy, well, he's just unkillable at this point, even gonna go for a Butterfly as well.
I like it, man. Butterfly to kind of, finish off the 6-slotted Weaver. This Queen of Pain had 7,000 gold. Looks like she just bought some type of item, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. Okay, looks like it's a Lincoln Sphere that the Queen of Pain is picking up. So going for a little bit more, I suppose, survivability herself. And after dying in that team fight, I guess why not? Weaver, there's that Butterfly that we were talking about a little bit earlier ago. And then on that Razor, he's finally picked up an Aghanim Scepter, but this is 47 minutes into the match, man. You're expecting that Refresher Orb on Razor by this point, not just a simple Aghanim Scepter, as well as a few defensive items.
They really haven't been able to farm up at all, being under so much pressure and just boxed into their own base almost for the majority of it. So, I mean, I feel like they've been hanging on valiantly, but that's about all it is. Just hanging on.
That's a good point, and the Tier 3 were taking down in the last team fight. MSI, it's not like things have really changed too much for them as far as item progression goes. Anything that they have, Awake's gotten tenfold, and I'm just kind of waiting for them to move in and push this Tier 3. I'm not sure if they need the Aegis on one of their heroes like they had with the Queen of Pain in order to take it down, but at least picking up that Lincoln Sphere has helped out. Roshan is still 5 minutes or so away from respawning, maybe a little bit less, so I don't think that's an option in the near future unless Awake wants to just play this extremely safe, wait it out for the next Aegis, and getting the cheese as well, while kind of pushing out these other lanes in the meantime. They still actually have the Tier 2 tower in the top lane to take care of.
Well, to be honest, it's a little bit surprising that the tower even stands till now. Feels like there should be a Treant Protector or something keeping it alive, because why else would it still stand? But Awake, they just even don't have to go out of their way to get it, I think. Just Queen of Pain already pushing out the lane. So, just as all in this game, I think it's a matter of time before Awake they just seal the deal. Unless MSI they pull off something huge. And, well, can they pull off a miracle? And, I mean, it feels like they don't even have to do it only once, but multiple times as well.
Yeah, I mean, generally when teams get this far behind in experience and gold, they generally don't win. And if you had to ask me right now, I don't really feel like there's anything MSI can do in this situation. It would actually just, I think it would take Awake having some type of really big mess up, not engaging with all of their heroes, just completely dropping the ball. I feel is the only way for them to really open this game back up into MSI's favor, or even just giving them a simple chance to win. Centaur's picked up a heart. He's up to 3,500 health. Will stomp forward, initiating right onto this Bat Rider. A lot of other DPS coming out. They blow him up before anything can happen, and now they're going straight for the Tier 3 tower. Glyph of Fortification down for another 15 seconds. They'll activate the pipe as well. There is absolutely nothing that MSI can do to save these Tier 3 barracks. And the top lane, they're going to go to the mid now. This is looking like pretty much an unwinnable position for MSI, but they're still going to hold on. They do have a lot of damage stolen from the Centaur, but really not the hero to be too concerned about, I suppose. Razor has picked up a lot of damage. She'll use his ultimate as well. The mech also on cooldown, and yeah, we're seeing the Death Prophet as well. Used up her Exorcism, but now there's 2 lanes of Mega Creeps heading into MSI's base. Their Tier 3 tower in the mid lane is under attack. Also, Razor sheeped up. Could he actually end up dying? He'll get hit with the Fissure as well. Centaur comes in, finishes him off with 1 right click. They also get the Death Prophet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is looking like GG. We'll see MSI. They buy back onto the Death Prophet. They are holding on with their dear life, but it simply doesn't look like it's enough.
It's probably not. Joe, he's gonna lose his life second time as well. Or is it the Fissure? Blocks him in. Yule Scepter's up, but Hoof Stomp is their double edge. Actually, the Burrow Strike Epicenter came out, but even that's not gonna get any kills at all. Oh man, how unfortunate. And Boombell, actually, before he was tanking up the Tier 4s, if he does it for long enough, the towers just kill themselves. And Boombell,
that Centaur, he just was chilling in there, showing how much he could tank up that tower. But the GG is called. So MSI, there were a few points in the game where they looked strong and they were coming back, but overall, Awake definitely had most of this game kind of in their clutches and their grasps, and it really seemed to like they just their team composition in the later stages helped out a lot more. There was a few dips where that didn't seem to be the case, but other than that, Overall, a very solid victory from them, and they did seem to play pretty darn safe throughout most of the match, not overextending that much, making sure they had the buyback gold before they got items. Overall, Awake, I have to say, they just played a solid game of Dota.
They most certainly did. I mean, they started strong, like you said, just got a little bit rocky, but then pulled it together, and from there on, just never let go. So, guys, we'll see whether they can actually take this momentum into game number 2, as this is a 2-game series after all, and MSI, they definitely want to just tie up the series to have a much better chance to just get into the playoffs. Especially since they also all have to play against Titan tomorrow as well, and that's going to be a tough game for everybody. So guys, don't go anywhere, wait for game number 2, we're going to head into the lobby straight away. And if you enjoyed us, be sure to follow us on this channel, as well as HeflaTV too, and check out our social media. HeflaTV on Facebook, Twitter, and VK for the Russian viewers, to just find out updates when we're casting, what tournaments, and on what channels. But this is it for game number 1, heading into game 2.